Life is a casino. We don't sink, we just hit them off with C-notes. And you can bet it all. I'ma be the last one standing tall. Joey Merlino.
What's up, Bridget?
Life is a casino. We don't sink, we just hit them off with C-notes. And you can bet it all. I'ma be the last one standing tall. Joey Merlino.
With Joey Merlino.
So since our first clips came out, the internet's been buzzing about this place. And I think it was great for everybody involved. You know, the staff that you have here and the kind of environment that you built, it goes a long way.
Yeah.
A lot of people had a question to me and they wanted to know how the process works of how to get back to work. How does that usually take place?
Right. So a lot of times it's a little premature, believe it or not.
Okay.
Most or a majority of calls that we get are, hey, I'm told by my employer that I'm expected back either full duty or light duty, and I don't feel I'm ready yet.
Okay.
And that's where the prematurity comes in, right? That people feel I'm nervous about losing my job, my doctor's telling me to go back to work, that sort of thing. So even though they don't feel they're able to go back, they end up going back.
Yeah.
And there's options. If you don't feel that you're physically able to do your job, it's not going to work out.
Can you lose your job if you don't go back to work and you are hurt?
So you can.
Okay.
You can't be terminated for filing a claim.
Okay.
You can't be retaliated against. However, unless you have a union contract or some employment written contract, we're all employees at will. And people can be terminated for any reason as long as they're not discriminated against.
Okay.
So that's a bad thing. You know, it happens a lot. People lose their health insurance benefits, they lose their job, and these are people that have given 10, 15, 20 years to these companies.
Yeah.
But that's the law.
If they do go back to work and they're not ready, does that help? Does that hurt their case? I mean, their claim in any way?
Well, what it could do is if you go back to work on an open claim, the insurance company can issue a document that if you don't challenge within a certain amount of time, they can stop paying you without a judge's approval.
Okay.
It's one of the ways that they don't need a court's approval. It hurts the injured worker because if they can't continue, let's say they tried for 2 weeks, 3 weeks and can't continue and come out, the benefits aren't automatically turned back on. We might have to go into court to get them turned back on. So you go from receiving the benefits to not receiving them.
See, and that's hard because you know this. People live paycheck to paycheck.
100%.
I read an article a long time ago that the average American only has $1,000 in their bank account. So for somebody to lose their benefits or lose something like that, I mean, it's a tragedy, really.
It's terrible. You know, they're financially pushed back into a decision that is not in their best way.
How long does a claim usually take in your point of view, all the claims that you've seen over the years? Is there a timeline or is everything treated differently?
Yeah, so obviously everything's different. Whether you're already receiving benefits, whether we have to fight to get you benefits, that's a big determining factor. But typically I think the typical claim is anywhere from 8 to 16 months.
16 months.
You know, I have some that are 5 years old, I have some that were a month old, but I think the average person is either fighting for workers' comp or on workers' comp for the 8 to 16 months.
And you always hear like horror stories about workman's comp or, you know, their claims taking too long and their benefits, but there's so many success stories that are not out there because nobody wants to talk about it.
Right.
And I know you had many success stories here.
Yeah.
I know you can't say names or anything, but what is the biggest claim that you ever fought?
So over the 25 years, we've unfortunately had a lot, right?
Yeah.
I say unfortunate because they're terrible, terrible claims.
Yeah, and they're tragedies really for the family,
terrible,
them.
Terrible. We just recently represented an individual with a traumatic brain injury that requires 24/7 care, can't speak, has to be netted in when he sleeps, couldn't even be transferred from the trauma hospital to a rehab center because he was injuring himself, others.
Wow, it's a shame.
So those are the type of claims that we really work with the family, and we worked with his kids, and We really dug in hard, fought, and were able, John actually did. I mean, he's a tremendous attorney,
yes,
tremendous, and gave it everything. And after probably 2 years, got something for this family that now the father will be taken care of.
For the rest of his life.
Yeah, and not only taken care of, what I mean is they can choose what nursing home to use. They can choose who to treat him. They can choose if there's a doctor that might be able to help him. Right now he has all that ability, instead of whereas if he'd have to be asking the state to help him.
Wow. See, and that's what people don't hear enough of. You know what I mean? Especially when you're in this business. Now let's just shift gears for a second. Not so serious. Now you got this jersey on the wall right here.
Yeah.
So, are you a Philadelphia Eagles fan?
So I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan, but for me, this is a jersey that has a small label.
Oh, I see it right there.
Pearson.
Yeah.
And if you see some other things, Pearson. So my grandfather and his brothers started a sporting goods in Philadelphia that was probably 60, 70 years.
Wow, 1937, Pearson Sporting Goods and Staff.
That was their first one, and they finished at 11th and Chestnut in a 6-story building. They were cited by city council. My grandfather was given the city bowl by Rizzo back
That's amazing.
when. So at one point, my grandfather made all the jerseys for all the sports teams.
Wow.
I was never allowed to take one.
No, you never got one?
I was never allowed to ask for an autograph.
Yeah.
This was their business. We're business. This isn't, right?
Yeah.
So one year, the jerseys were coming in, took one, and that's the one jersey with the label. I have other things that are really cool, but that's like the one jersey.
I would have never knew that. Without seeing that picture, I didn't know anything about that.
So they made like Drexel, colleges.
Pearson.
Yeah, if you Google Pearson Sporting Goods, my grandfather has pictures with like Muhammad Ali when he was coming up.
That's great.
So we've been
Philly's in you.
a long time.
I love it. Thank you again. You're the man.
Thank you.
So last time we were here, we went over a lot of things. Everybody loved the grittiness from Philadelphia. Like that clip was great. But a lot of people don't understand, like we were talking about earlier, what exactly goes into this, the time frame, going back to work, things like that. Can you touch on, you were saying earlier about the scars and everything like that?
Right, so you have to remember that every case is different. But at the essence of every claim, people have a story.
Yeah.
And you want to understand the story in relation to the employer, what the client's needs are, and what we can do for them. So what we ask all of our clients is to keep in touch. Communication is key. They'll call, they'll text us weekends, after hours, and that way we can stay on the same timeline as the client. And the first 21, 30 days after a work accident are critical. Everyone tells you, hey, look, if you have a symptom, don't wait, go to your doctor. Same thing with a case. If you're hurt at work, there are certain protocols you have to follow by law. You have to notify your employer that you were in a work accident, that you're injured, and you want treatment. And there are then certain things that, in response, the employer has to do by law. And what we ask our clients is keep in touch. We'll help you through the process. We'll make suggestions. We'll help strategize with you. And our goal is not to be obstructive. Our goal is to be an assistive part of the process, because many times people call us, we find out what their issue is, we make some suggestions, we never hear from them again. And many times they're back at work, their issue has resolved, and this particular case was a speed bump. Sometimes the employers don't do the right thing. And that's when we have to get more involved. We can make suggestions as to a doctor to go to. We can make suggestions as to how to communicate with your manager or human resources. Everyday people are involved in work accidents, many of whom aren't sophisticated, have high levels of education, and it can be intimidating talking to directors of human resources and being dragged into meetings, having to give statements, going to a post-accident drug test. People need to know their rights. So what we ask is for to have a conversation, right? You know better than anyone. Never hurts to have a conversation. And then we can sort of dissect what the issue is and figure out what the problem is and how to help.
Because I feel like with a lot of cases and claims, I mean, that when you get hurt on a job, the first thing you do is you don't know what to do. You call your significant other, say this is, I guess, what happened. But everybody's like, do you go to your boss? Do you go to the foreman? Do you call your union rep? Do you go to human resource? So there's a lot of things that people don't know.
There are, and that's true. People need to do, first of all, what's comfortable, because everyone's different. Some people are shy. Some people don't like conflict. Some people just want to work. Some people just want to do the right thing. But doing the right thing means different things to different people. So we always say, seek out your supervisor, text them what happened, take a photograph, go to the emergency room. You can never be denied access to emergency room care after an accident. There's no employer panel physician list that has to approve emergency room treatment. So notify your supervisor, document whatever you can in writing, try to obtain some evidence, whether it's a photograph or your own witness statement, and then we ask them to contact us.
That's it. That's all you have to do.
Right.
And right now, do you see more claims coming in, let's say car accidents? What is like the main claim that comes through these doors?
I would say just general run-of-the-mill, somebody's at work and there's an aha moment, whether that's picking up a box or reaching overhead. There's something acute, something different that happens that causes some increase in symptoms, warranting a pause or a break where it either takes your breath away or drops you to your knees or causes some level of discomfort that you haven't had before. Now, we do get phone calls where it's a gradual or progressive injury that just keeps getting worse and worse because of repetitive or constant activities. So just like people, work accidents come in different shapes and sizes. And one point I want to make is that just because you have a work accident doesn't mean you have to stop working. There are types of benefits you're allowed to receive, and they come under this broad heading of specific loss benefits. You could, God forbid, suffer an amputation to a body part, have a scar or a burn or a mark on your face or neck. You could have hearing loss or loss of vision. These are benefits that, due to an acute event, you know, that aha moment, something happens, or just over time, loud noise exposure, you know, and you don't have to leave work to claim those types of benefits.
See, people don't understand that. And that's what the best part about this is, because you're giving knowledge to people that are sitting home right now. And they probably had to deal with this and they had no idea what to do.
Yeah, we want to break it down. Simple, easy to understand. That's what we do.
Thank you. I appreciate your time, my man. So now, last time that we were
I'm sorry.
She's looking so serious all of a sudden today.
I'm so sorry.
All right. Last time that we were here, we went over a few things.
Right.
But I want you to go over with everybody the process of the intake, because that's the most important part.
Right.
So how does the intake work? First off, they have to call or they
call
email?
in the office.
Okay.
They'll get transferred over to me because I do the intakes. It's technically considered like the intake specialist.
Okay.
So usually right away they'll call in and be like, Desiree, this is what happened, and I fell, and I listen to them, but there's a spiel that we'll go through. And I get their name, their phone number, because God forbid if we get disconnected.
Yeah.
And then I need to know where they work. Unfortunately, I also need the address. A lot of people don't know where they work.
Yeah.
Because there's sister companies and stuff like that. So I need to know exactly where you work. Definitely need a copy of your paycheck, because that's going to give me the full name of your business.
Exactly.
And then we'll go down date of injury, what happened that day for you to get hurt, process of what then occurred. Did you go to the urgent care?
Yeah.
Did you go to an ER? An ambulance comes, something like that.
Yeah.
And which is most important, you have to report it. A lot of people think I have to go right to the hospital. You do need to let your supervisor know because there's things that they need to do on their end.
They have to document everything.
Yeah, they have to contact their workers' comp insurance because that's huge, that's important. Because then we want our client to have that information to then go with their doctors because you don't want to pay out of pocket.
Yeah.
You don't want to use your personal insurance. There is a separate insurance that a lot of people don't know. And then with that as well, like we have our older clients where if they're on Medicare, we also want them to know, please do not give that information because in the end, you will get charged for those medical.
Oh, wow.
So you always want to make sure that they have the right information. So yeah, I want to get your name, your work history, your information, what happened after, who you're treating with, because sometimes they just start treating. They'll go to the regular doctor, not knowing the whole step.
Is there a time frame? Because you always hear if you get hurt, you have 6 days to get to the hospital or 6 days to get to your physician. Like, how does that work? Is there a timeline between this?
I'm sure there is. I think because we get them in so quickly, we get them to where they got to go.
Okay.
There is a thing where you should be out of work for 14 days to start everything.
Gotcha.
And then with the statute of limitations with workers' comp, there's 3 years.
Perfect.
So you can get hurt tomorrow, go to the doctors and say, you know what, I can brush this off. I'm young. I feel good. And then like 4 weeks later down the road, that injury is still because you're working, still doing that same motion. And you're thinking, you know what, maybe I need to see somebody and talk to a lawyer.
100%. The holidays are here. Everybody wants their money now. We said this last time.
Yeah.
What are the battles that you're going through right now?
Well, again, like I said, with the snail mail, it is awful, but a lot of people still like that paper check. Even with direct deposit, because somebody has to hit that button to get that through. With the Thanksgiving holiday, a lot of offices were off the day and after, which was a nice break for everyone, but these adjusters weren't doing what they were supposed to do, unfortunately. So when I came back after the holiday, I had a lot of people that didn't get their checks.
Yeah.
Contact the adjuster, like I said, ask for a ledger. Unfortunately, if they're on their holiday break, now I gotta wait. If it's bad where I know my client needs money, I'm looking for a supervisor.
Yeah.
I want somebody, and then I get Eric on it. You know what I mean? And like sometimes they don't want to hear a paralegal. They want to hear that attorney name. They want to hear that Esquire. Like, yo, he's on the phone.
Yeah.
We gotta get on it.
How long have you been working in this business for?
Oh, geez, I've been here 7 years. I want to say about 15 years.
15 years.
Yeah.
And I feel like this office, I mean, just from my personal understanding, this is great.
Oh my God, it's like being at home.
Yeah.
It's just great. Eric, he's such a family guy. He's fun. He's professional. We put our take our hair down. We have a good time, but we're here to work.
Yeah, of course.
And the days go by quick. And it's a small boutique firm, and it's a good time.
But it works.
Is.
That's all that matters.
It's family. And Eric's, you would think he was from South Philly.
Yeah, I know.
I
know.
He's definitely a great guy to work with.
Since your first clip came out, I've been hearing a little buzz that everywhere you go, people are noticing you.
Yeah.
That's even better. That's
It's
great.
crazy.
I love it.
They love you.
Well, we try.
You know,
we
they
try
do.
and make
They
them
love
laugh.
you.
That's what it's about.
Like everybody knows you, and you know how South Philly.
Yeah, of
we all
course.
know each other. ShopRite, you're walking in, they're like, aren't you? And family parties, or like a friend is telling me their nieces are emailing them.
It's great.
It was funny.
I'm glad though. I'm glad it works.
It's great. It's great exposure, and it's a good job. It's you're helping people.
We got to make sure though we tell everybody that when they call here, they got to say that they seen the Skinny and Little Snuff podcast.
Yep.
They seen it on there, and every case that comes through the door, we're going to give them a free cheesesteak.
That's awesome.
All right,
That's what they want to hear.
You got it.
Free cheesesteaks from PK.
There you go.
And Snuff. I love it.
Life is a casino. We don't sing, we just hit 'em off with C-notes. And you can bet it all. I'ma be the last one standing tall. Joey Merlino.
What's up, G?
Life is a casino. We don't sing, we just hit 'em off with
Tell us about ourselves.
And you can bet it all. I'ma be the last one standing tall. Joey Merlino.
With Joey Merlino.